hardship that you've never experienced before. Like finding an apartment at 22 in Hong Kong was a hardship for me because I've always lived with my parents, right? And then I graduated musical theater bachelor and then bachelor degree, and then like Disney picked me up and I went there and I had to look for my own apartment, and I was just like, geez Louise, like how am I gonna do this? I'm gonna wash my clothes. I have barely any time after I come back from work. I'm super tired because we do shows all day, and sure the pay is good, but like all of this is like, these are the things that I had to learn at 22. And if you're not from Singapore, you may find this like really really like entitled and stuff, but the thing is, we don't generally in Singapore move out of our parents' home all the way until maybe past past when we get married, you know. So this, especially when I was 22, this would have been like 14 years ago. Now I'm 36 now, right? So like 14 years ago, when I was 22, I'd be met with words like derisive words from people like elders saying, oh, you must be the rebellious kind because you moved out of your parents' home, naughty naughty, right? But they didn't realize that I was actually pursuing my goals elsewhere, and you know, this was just where I got a job somewhere else, you know. And as I was traveling and performing all over the world, I realized that Singapore is very small, and as grateful as I am to be born Singaporean, as a creative, sometimes you feel very stifled here because you don't have many people who are creatives here, you know. People have corporate jobs. So like when you say you want to be a freelancer, people don't generally support that. They worry about instability. But if you're thinking of quitting your job and becoming a freelancer, hear these words. I have never, outside of Disney, when I was 22 to 24, worked full-time for a company ever since then. And I'm also not broke. There is a certain level of fire under your ass when you don't know where your next paycheck is coming from, and it gives you the drive to keep searching for gigs. And also, here's a secret: when you do gigs as a freelancer, you are able to charge a lot more than a corporate day rate, and that's the truth. That's what I experienced, right? So you know, when people are like, huh, for 4 hours, so much? I only make 150 per day, you know. Yes, but you have a stable job, you know, you exchange your time for money. It's different, you know. We don't know when our next paycheck is. And so a lot of people, you know, don't really know this because you're not a lot of us are freelancers. But like if you are considering freelancing and quitting your job because of, you know, work-life balance isn't working for you, right? Like I highly recommend trying it. Because when you're scared, right, this fear just makes you work a lot harder. And because it's for you, you have a purpose to work a lot harder. I describe it like this, right? Like having a child. I don't want a kid, but for those of you who want kids, you know it's gonna be hard, right? It's gonna be hard, but because it's your baby, right, it becomes totally worth it, right? So it's the same when you run a business or when you like are a freelancer and you get freelance work, you know. I need to sustain myself. If I can't sustain myself, I can't be the best on the job for you. And so you become your own baby. You take care of yourself so that you can do the job for other people. And because you do all this work just to do this job, you also are able to charge a lot more than, you know, every day going to work and having that job stability. So I charge, you can see in my last video of a day in my life. That's not my last video. One of my videos, a day in my life, right? You know, I charge like $900 for a 2-hour voiceover, for example, you know. I was done in 40 minutes. So I was hanging out, and this is not a flex, okay? Like this is just like sharing a story so that you can also be inspired to maybe try freelancing. You know what I mean? I know a lot of designers and copywriters that charge, thank you so much for the heart me, that charge like, you know, $1,000 just for writing copy for a company. You know, how much do you make at an office right now? If you are a copywriter, if you are writing for 4 companies a month, you know, you already make $4,000, right? So like it's starting your own business around copywriting, using platforms like TikTok to market yourself, and starting your website, you know, all of these things. Hi, thank you so much, Mello, for that. I hope that was because this information was helpful. Yeah, and so that's why I highly recommend doing freelance. And if any of you have considered this, but you've been met with like negativity and non-support, I understand completely why these people don't support freelance work, because they haven't experienced it themselves. But any freelancers in the comment section, let me know if you're a freelancer or like a business owner, and let me know, okay? The hardest part is finding the client. Yes, correct. But also, there's a lot of steps that you can take to do that. You can start a website. You can get an SEO guy from Pakistan for $500 a month to bring your website to the first page. You can go on Upwork.com. I have an Upwork account as well. You can also promote your services on TikTok like this, or on Instagram. You can also go to like these entrepreneur circles, right? Because you are likely not able to infiltrate the MNCs, but you can probably work with entrepreneurs who are starting their businesses. So they need someone to help them write copy for their website, for their collaterals, for their product. And you can actually slot yourself in there. And as these companies grow, you grow with them. And so you have a retainer. So that's how I would suggest, if you're a copywriter, to get started as well. Does your work ever get quiet? Yes, and when that happens, I just take myself a 2-week holiday somewhere. Because it does, full disclosure, I work about 5 to 10 gigs a month. And also full disclosure, if you make money in the thousands per gig, you calculate that, it sort of adds up really nicely for you to take a 2-week holiday. I usually like to go to Bali, so I'm not too far away from Singapore. Sometimes I take my mom. Sometimes I just go there and do nothing, just eat and like lie on the beach. Yeah. So my work does get quiet. But I usually am able to make enough every month to have it be quiet for months on end. Yeah. Chu Duro referrals actually work for me. I built a strong personal brand and that helped my business. Yeah, absolutely. Chu Duro. Chuck's Duro? Is it Chuck's Duro? Am I saying it right? Yeah, exactly. So it really does help you grow as an individual as well. Finding your purpose, finding your mission, your personal mission statement, because then you become the main service provider for these businesses. So yes, Chuck's Duro, you, the man. Glavis Low says, started my business for 1 year. It's not all roses, but I'm enjoying far more freedom. Yes. I mean, it's not all roses. It will never be all roses. But here's another perspective. What if the thorns are actually the lessons that you are given by the school of life? I think about it like that. My dad always said, you either win or you learn. And with that one quote, apparently it's a Nelson Mandela quote, but my dad likes to curate these quotes for us, his children, and this is the one that stuck with me. You either win or you learn. So nowadays, whenever I fail or I make mistakes, I always ask myself, what am I supposed to learn from this?